We'll call the meeting to order. Ask for roll call.
Elsley.
Here.
Lunier. Hare.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We'll have a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no public hearings tonight. Presentations and special reports. We look to the EDC.
Good evening, everyone. Quiet group tonight.
Good evening.
Hey, you don't have to be quiet with me. Okay. Thank you, Craig, for getting us queued up there. Well, great to be before you again from the Morton Economic Development Council. Again, Lee Ann Brown. I'm the CEO of that organization, and we provide updates back to the village board, sometimes on a quarterly or biannual basis. And we're very fortunate to have additional representation on our board with adding Mayor Kaufman and, of course, continuation of Sam Hare. So they hopefully will keep you informed of other things, but great to be here and provide an update on the 2017 progress. And let's see. Okay. So this is always a good time to share. The Morton Economic Development Council was established in 2008, and always good to highlight kind of our mission and purpose with you, that we are here to grow our community. And I've been here for just over a year now, and I'm continued to be very impressed with our community. I moved here now, my family is here, and just the steady continued growth that we have available here in the Morton community. We're very fortunate. I work very closely with the other communities throughout our region, and there's been a lot of challenges and hurdles, and we live in the state of Illinois. Say no more there of the challenges and hurdles we have. We're fortunate here in Morton. We have a lot of great long-standing businesses. So the entrepreneurship and the longevity of generation after generations of continued businesses that continue to thrive here is very impressive. Obviously, our location with 2 interstates and having that project completed is a great attraction tool. And our education system, our parks, library, and all the great organizations that we have. So I'm pleased to be here, and it's been great to make it through the first year on a lot of projects and initiatives, and more to come. So just wanted to recap there our goals, and all the trustees, you have a little bit more detailed report in front of you. The slideshow just kind of highlights some of those areas. But also want to highlight our board of directors that give a lot of their time and resources to our organization. And a couple new board members to point out. We have added Sarah Dill. She is with Unity Point Health. And we have, of course, the mayor, and Mark Hohulin, who is with OSF Healthcare. So it's great to have now new representatives from our healthcare industry. And also earlier this year, we were able to add to our staff and hired a community development director. And so now we have on board for 3, maybe going on 4 months now, Lenora Fisher. So it's been great to have additional support for our outreach and retention efforts. And before I move on, another fact that we just came across the other day of stating how our community is withheld with all the challenges lately, we have an average occupancy rate in our residential of 92%. I'm sure you all are aware of what Dunlap is dealing with right now, with cat layoffs and the move of their headquarters and a few other changes in the economic. We don't have that in Morton, and that's a huge number to be at still 92% occupancy. So kudos to our community and the continued growth. So our EDC, we operate in 5-year increments, and we are on our third 5-year strategy, which is Morton Momentum. And as you can see there, Morton Momentum is, we try and keep a simple goal there to shape our growth and increase demand for Morton businesses, the business environment. And one of my goals when I came on board, I saw a need for greater connectivity within our community between the different taxing bodies. So we've done a great job over the last year of pulling together new committees and initiatives, pulling in the school district, the park district, the library, the community foundation, tourism, the MTA, and a multitude of other entities and organizations. So to go through some specific details here with you. Our goals that we set, our last 5-year strategy, Make It Morton, we had very similar goals, and we met and exceeded all of the goals. So if something's working, no need to change it and keep on track. So our goals over the next 5 years, as you can see, 800 new job creation. We want to stay focused on the increase of commercial and industrial construction projects. We want to increase our retail sales tax, obviously attracting new businesses, paying attention to EAV and our efforts increasing the EAV. And then there's a lot of focus around entrepreneurship and innovation, those growth companies with technology. And so we wanted to have a specific outreach and measure on our connection with those types of entrepreneurs and companies. Here's one of my communication tools that I like to use of why economic development? Why should we focus on growing our economy? And as an economic development council, economic development can mean a wide range of activities and initiatives and strategies. I'd like to narrow that focus down to we grow demand. And why do we want to grow demand? If we grow demand, that's going to generate your industrial and commercial projects. If you grow demand, a business is going to need additional space. They're going to have additional products and services. They're going to need additional workforce. That creates projects. That creates those expansions and new business locations. And why that is important, as we just went through there, it creates jobs, increases that EAV, increases property tax. And why do we care about property tax? It puts money in your pocket to reinvest in the village. It increases the school district funds, park district, library, and township. We want to grow demand to attract additional retail sales tax for additional residents, for additional visitors, and new businesses. And new businesses, that's going to increase our supply chain. And that's helpful to other businesses as we continue to grow our economy. So a few things that we've been focused on here at the beginning of 2017 to highlight on our efforts. Job creation. This year we are at 69 new jobs created. We continue to promote our Morton Micro Grant. And in talking throughout the region, and even with Bradley University and the SBDC, they host monthly workshops for starting a business in Illinois. And they said our Morton micro grant, they talk about it every session, and it is a great tool for business expansion and attraction. So that one is based on job creation, $1,000 for each job, up to $5,000. So we continue to promote that one. We've got about 8 interested applicants out there. Their applications haven't been submitted yet, but that'll be additional job growth on top of that 69. Specifically in tracking those numbers, the 69 comes from enterprise zone applications and our business retention visits that we have conducted. So Precision Planning, they have continued to hire. And Growmark, finally, we have somebody in most of the Star Transport location. Growmark, they consolidated some areas of their business operation in our region and located here in Morton with 25 new jobs. Enterprise Zone continues to be a great tool for those expansion and new location projects. Job creation there, 34. And a huge number here. Total project costs between 12 company projects is over $7 million. So that's a huge spur to our economy. Another thing to note is, as I said earlier, it's important to pay attention to the commercial and industrial construction permits. And as you can see there, over $2 million in those construction permits for additional projects that are happening. Sales tax, I'm sure Julie sends this report to you often, but wanted to include it in there. And as you can see, sales tax from, remember this is a 3-month lag, so January through April, we're looking at roughly 1.5 million. And I'm sure Julia explained the April amount. While we'd love to have that high dollar amount every month, it seems like a audit occurred and somebody owed some money, so we'll take that boost, but that probably won't happen every month. So those numbers continue to hold steady for both sales tax and the business district sales tax. Looking at additional efforts with our business retention and expansion projects. You know, we go out and we meet with businesses as often as we can, and that's the fun part, I think, in this job, and really knowing what businesses are doing out there and how we can help them. And some things that we learn are obviously their new products and services that they're launching, technology, improvements, workforce needs, but really how they're putting Morton on the map. And it's astounding when we hear their stories of all the people and other businesses that they connect with, that they share why we operate in Morton, Illinois. And you know, you learn about Iron Away off of Jackson, that if you order a Iron Away board, everybody knows what they make there, right? Ironing boards that are tucked away. You order one online, it's produced there and shipped out the same day. And thousands of them every day. We learn about, the huge truck traffic numbers and companies like Clean Wash that that is a destination for truck drivers because it's a clean facility. They're certified for all of the requirements that they need to do on their trucks, and they put Morton on the map with a lot of different trucking companies. So it's just fun information like that we continue to learn about our community. We also started a EDC Connect Lunch, and once a month we host our investors or other businesses just to come to the table and have a casual lunch, casual conversation on projects that are happening and why they locate in Morton, what are some things that they're working on, and more importantly, going back to what I said earlier of building that interconnectivity is getting them to know each other. Who's down the street and what are they making and what products and services do they offer? A few other initiatives. We attended the Select USA Summit. This is a international summit. It was hosted out in Washington, D.C. with about 2,800 attendees representing 60 different countries. We had state representation, our greater Peoria region with Morton specifically, and we were able to meet with a handful plus leads and be able to put Morton on the map with several others. New businesses and expansions, as you can see in your report there, we have several new businesses that have started here in Morton. Unland Companies with their office location at MCB Bank. Villas of Hollybrook, they continued to expand. Better Banks, a photography studio. He moved into a commercial space, and then Growmark. There's been others that have came in through the permit process, new locations. These are specific ones that we have coordinated some effort with. The other thing that we focus on is workforce development, and we launched last fall. We had our first Morton Mentor program. This is a partnership with our business leaders and Morton High School, allowing students to be matched up with a business mentor and have additional deeper dive into their career pathway and what their industry of interest looks like and those soft skills. And as we tell them when we kick off, the most important thing you need to remember is to show up and be present. When you get a job, you need to show up on time, and be responsible for the work that you've been given. Other things, development planning. We've done a lot of focused efforts on ramping up our buildings and sites. If developers, companies don't know that there's available buildings and properties, how can you expect them to locate here? So we continuously go through our website and update those buildings and sites. And it's not just, the building has 10-foot ceilings, it's 2,000 square feet, and it's cost of this. It's also the infrastructure that's around that building and to the building, all those key components that they might need to know for their business operation. So the more information we can put on there, time is money, as I say to businesses, so the faster they can get through that process, we're helping them. Then we've done a lot of efforts around looking at data and market trends. As you can imagine, our economy changes rapidly, and so we need to be very well in tune of the data and the market trends, so we can strive for those different unique development projects that align with those that data and trends. Memorial Plaza, what a project in the making. Of course, I was able to come in when a lot of it was well underway and started construction. So I got the fun part of wrapping up the plaza, and had a great committee that we put together. Many of them were involved throughout most of the project. But hopefully you were there on Memorial Day and were a part of that ceremony. It was great to see the plaza filled, and the veterans organizations did a incredible job of hosting a very meaningful ceremony. So hopefully, and it's just driving over here, there was a dozen plus people sitting over there enjoying the plaza. So I've heard from many that maybe weren't in favor of that project, have made very positive comments. So more spaces like that to come, hopefully. A few other things that we focus on, workforce pipeline. In your packets, I went through kind of a detailed structure there of what does a career pathway alignment potentially look like for the Morton community and the opportunities that we're giving to our public and private schools. So take a look at that list. We also partner with the Greater Peoria EDC on their talent forecast. They're going to continue to take a snapshot of our key industries throughout the region and anticipate what new job hires will happen over a 12-month window, so we can begin to better align those graduates and workforce attraction to our region, to our community to fill those jobs. A few other exciting things, speaking of kind of restructuring some things with the EDC, we have two new committees, our Business Development Committee and our Community Development Committee. And as I outlined there in your packet, Real briefly, our Business Development Committee, again, goes back to that focus of growing our demand. They focus on the available buildings and sites, our data, and then that outreach for expansions and new locations. And our Community Development Committee, this again goes back to that connectivity with our other taxing bodies and key entities throughout our community are each represented on that committee. And we're focused on why Morton. We can no longer just say Morton is a great place to live, work, and play. We have to start to define that why. And out of this committee, we've looked at a lot of our assets and what can we build on. And one initiative is Morton Made. Could that be a branding, a slogan for our community? Morton Made, Morton Buildings. Morton Made, Pumpkin Capital of the World. Morton Made, autonomous vehicles. Morton Made, fill in the blank. And we have a lot of those success stories that we can share. And that's the wow factor when you're out talking to other businesses and developers. They want to know what else is going on in your community. Why should I locate there? What's your wow factor in your community? What kind of development and innovative products are coming out of where you want us to locate? So that's kind of the why and the why of the message. Again, looking at some of the activities with entrepreneurs and young professionals, we've launched our Morton Mix program, and then we partner with the Greater Peoria Startup Initiative and the Start Your Business in Illinois workshops. Then downtown Morton, we continue to focus on specifically downtown Morton. And the other thing I wanted to go through, this was before my time here, but in 2011, many different groups partnered and looked at a downtown redevelopment plan. And this was adopted in December of 2011. And so work really began in 2012. And so I included in your packet there an update. So I pulled out the goals and objectives from that study. And I went through this study and I found myself very impressed with the progress that was made. 5 years can seem like a long time, but in projects like this and economic development, that's a very short period of time. So I would like for you to go through that, and there's probably other things that are in the works or that have been done that I'm not aware of, but be proud of this. Be proud of the different committees and those that have spent time and money, business district funds that have supported these projects, because it matters. We've had a lot of focus on place attachment, and place matters. And that's going back to that why. And actually our Community Development Committee is reading a book right now, This Is Where You Belong. And it's about going out and exploring your community and having those activities and unique locations and aesthetics, your bike trails, your walkability, all of that truly impacts a community. And I know when businesses are attracting workforce and when we're wanting families to move back to Morton, these kinds of projects is what will keep and bring those residents back. So take a look through there. I kind of had some fun with check marks and, of course, orange. Have to use orange for updates and progress, and a good old thumbs up in some areas. So take a look through that, and if you have not seen the full study, I have extra copies if anybody's interested in seeing the full study. But I think this can be a valuable tool. I know it's approaching time to update the comp plan. Business District Commission, there's been very healthy conversations in that commission of what else can we do? What other projects can we focus on? How valuable is the facade program? Do we need to make any changes to that? Is there any other financial tools and resources that we need to create to continue to see the growth that we have out of studies like this. So take a look at that. And I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but I'd be happy to answer any specific questions. I could stand up here and talk for the next 4 hours easily on other projects and initiatives that we're working on. But most importantly, I just want to say thank you. I've enjoyed my time here, and I feel like we're really on a great path. We have a lot of great board members and committee members dedicated to our initiatives and growing our community. And we really have a lot of great assets. And the number one is people. The people of Morton make a huge difference, and that's exciting. So with that, I'll take any questions that you have on any other projects, initiatives, or anything else you want to ask me.
Any trustees have a question?
I had one. You mentioned, you touched on the enterprise zone
Yeah.
and what an important tool that is. And I know Roger's our enterprise zone administrator, so you work very closely together, I know on that. But a couple of years back, everyone will recall that the state reorganized the program. We had to reapply, and now we're aligned with other communities, Tremont and Pekin, and we're a part of now Southern Tazewell Enterprise Zone.
Correct.
So just if you can share any updates or observation how it's been underway, maybe a little over a year and a half, I don't know. Is there any updates you can share with how that's gone?
In my opinion, it's gone well. The goal behind that is to be strategic on getting our approval again. We knew throughout Illinois that there were going to be only so many enterprise zone districts approved. And so our forethought in collaborating as communities, we didn't feel that 4 or 5 different applications would get approved. Let's figure out how we can collaborate and go down to 2 applications. And I think it still gives each community involved room to grow if anybody has additional property to add into that. And it still gives local control to the incentives offered through the enterprise zone program. So I know the state, I haven't heard of any additional changes that they want to make. Of course, we're in place now for another 22 plus years, so we should be good. But so far, it's working well.
Thank you.
I think there were, if my memory serves me, I think 49 enterprise zones were going to be approved when we were selected. And if we hadn't joined with Pekin, Tremont, and Tazewell County, I don't think we would have gotten it, because even as it turned out, I think we were like 45th. And the North Zone, which is Washington, East Peoria, Germantown Hills, and Tazewell County, was like 2 steps ahead of us, 43rd. So if we hadn't done that, I don't think we wouldn't have an enterprise zone today, I don't believe. So, and it gets used just about every project.
It's a factor.
People take advantage of that.
It's definitely a factor then.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
Any other questions? If not, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I believe we have Don Welch here with us with the Peoria Area Convention.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to you and the trustees for allowing us to come over and give a little presentation. I'd like to start with this slide because we feel at the Convention and Visitors Bureau that we're a major component working with economic development organizations such as Leanne has here to bring enhanced economic development to the area. And it all starts with a visit. So if we bring visitors to town, we build a place where people want to live, we build a place where people want to visit, we build a place where people want to live, that's where people are going to build their businesses. And no one builds a business or expands a business until they've visited here first. So best practices in our industry show that working hand in hand, convention and visitors bureaus or destination marketing organizations and economic development corporations, that's the best practice to be the most successful, is work hand in hand. And we're just very fortunate to have Leanne be the chairman of our board at the Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. And I might add that we've got a new addition to our board, Susan Piles. Thank you very much for her appointment. We've worked closely with Susan over the years, and now we're going to be working even closer with her, so that's great. So, the economic development that we're talking about would be the next slide. Who's got the little, oop, there it is, right in front of me.
Still on.
Okay. So this is our mission, to promote the Peoria area as a destination. Our goal is to increase meetings, conventions, sporting events, tourism, and leisure, all with the bottom line of bringing outside dollars into the area, bringing economic impact to our restaurants, our hotels, our shopping centers, gas stations, whatever it might be. The Illinois Office of Tourism recently released their domestic and international travel expenditures, and I think someone stopped me earlier, actually Roger, saying that he saw us on TV, actually saw most of Kara on TV, talking about last year's economic impact of tourism in the Peoria area. So Kara Allen is our Director of Marketing and Communications, doing a terrific job for us, and I know that she's been working closely with Leanne to develop a marketing plan for Morton, which we're not ready to release, I don't think, but working closely with her on that. So with that, I'll turn it over to Kara to talk about what we've done to market Morton.
So a lot of what we focus on is bringing travelers to our area. So you guys are doing an amazing job at bringing people to Morton. So if we can reach out and bring people just to our 8 county, we represent 8 counties. So if we can bring people to this area, you guys can snag them from there. So what we try and do is do bits and pieces of each one of our 8 counties and our 5 funding cities and make sure and highlight, the most prominent and the best things that they can do. We work closely with the Illinois Office of Tourism. So a lot of what we push out is to them, and I'll show you some of that a little later. You have quite a hefty stack of info in front of you. So there we go. So we have our leisure publications that we do. I'm very, very proud of our graphic designer, but we do these in-house. So you have our experience guide, which you'll see as being Morton. You have a 2-page spread, of course, in there, as well as plenty of mentions throughout. We do this once a year. We solicit advertising in there to keep the process rolling, of course, but we're getting ready to start our next one here in about a month or so with design phase. But we try and highlight, the biggest and best of the area and new things. So if you do notice something that isn't in there this year, it might be in there next year. It could have been in there last year, but we like to change it up and keep it different. Same with the coupon book. The coupon book is going like crazy right now. I think we've gone through about 7,000 of them, and they just started July 1, which is like almost as much as we went through all of last year. But again, amazing graphic designer, redesigned the whole coupon book, and so, people just love it. We put it out in front of all our convention and sporting attendees. Louisville Slugger uses it, East Side uses it. It's a really neat piece of material. We really, really encourage people. It is absolutely 100% free to all of our partners. So any coupon they want to put in there, we reach out probably 2 or 3 times to get coupons into the book. So, if you know anybody, we're probably going to be doing a reprint, I would guess, in about 2 or 3 months when we run out. So we can always throw some more in there. Just, make sure to let us know because it's very highly used. We have last time I presented, I believe I was a little excited. We're going to Travel Media Showcase, where Casey Osborne, our community development manager, and I went down to Texas, and we did kind of a sales blitz, and where we sold our area in like 10 minutes to about 30 people. We had these little 10-minute interviews on why they should come write about our area. And so that has really been gaining some traction over the past year. We actually have the Connie from Midwest Wanderer. She is coming, and she goes, I want to come visit your area, but I have to see the pumpkins. So her visit is scheduled around the Pumpkin Festival. And we're going to show her a little bit of Washington too while she's here, of course, and a little bit of a few other things. But she'll be staying the night here, the night before the parade and the day, and so hopefully. And I've read a lot of her writings, and she's really good. So kind of excited to have that come. Again, that's something new, but very exciting. Social media exposure. Again, we absolutely don't know absolutely everything that's going on in Morton, but we sure do try. We have a lot of great partners that let us know what's going on. Anything that needs shared or wants shared or boosted or promoted via social media, we try and do that. Granted, you will see a lot around the Pumpkin Festival. But I know that there's some fun things coming up over the holidays, things like that we've been talking about, just getting the word out there. And that's Twitter, that's all the social mediums that we put out. And also in your little packet, there will be a report. I believe it's the mayor's report, so it's on the back side of the newsletter, and that'll give all the stats. So we track all of those for Morton as well. We also have a content marketing campaign. Basically, short thing is we write a bunch of stories. Actually, we hired somebody to write a bunch of stories so that they would be picked up on the websites and through the internet when somebody was Googling. Write a bunch of stories about the best festivals or the best things about town to dine or to have a drink or, attractions. And then those are put out if somebody's like on Midwest Living website and they're kind of looking, an ad might pop up that says check out the Cookery or McMahon's or Seasons, and then it'll take it to our website where it has the full story of everything to do. Or again, we're building up to festival season, so that is a great one. We'll do a really strong, hard push for that and, push all the festivals that are upcoming. And we're constantly tweaking those. So what we did is we had them all written, and as businesses change or restaurants open or close, which unfortunately tends to happen, we're constantly updating those in-house as well. But, if anybody ever reads it and sees something, let us know. We'll totally change it quickly. But that is a paid campaign, so we pay constantly to have that up and running. We also do a digital campaign. Again, short story, those that are looking for us, looking for our types of events, or looking for places like ours. That's who we target. And we put up these banner ads. That's a sample of 2. We do about 8 or 9, and we rotate those. And so we put them up when you're in your Yahoo account, or if you're searching online, and say you were searching small town events, or you were searching great zoos, or anything that has any keyword. I have a list of about 1 million of them that has to do with our area. We try and pop an ad in front of you, because if you don't recognize it the first, second, third, or fourth, you're subtly remembering it back here. And when that comes up and you want to take a trip to our area, or something's going on that interests you, those leisure travelers will come down. Print, not dead. We still do it. We have to get into those magazines like Midwest Living, Travel Illinois, those types of things. And it's as much as people say print's going away, they don't charge like it's going away. So that's a lot of fun too. But we put these in very strategically. Most of the time we get as much bang for our buck as we can, so they're calendar of events. Or they're a link to our calendar of events that's on our website. So as you can see, we've kind of been redesigning our calendar of events there, but all of those are also attached. If you kind of want to see them closer, that was kind of an example, but I know PowerPoint's very small, so they should be on the back of your mayor's reports as well. As I mentioned, we work really closely with Illinois Office of Tourism. Their job is to get people to Illinois, which is great. And they go overseas and all over the country, and they create, Illinois commercials and Illinois videos, because that's what they do. And again, like I said, our job is to get people in our area. So that's what we do, and we have a very good relationship with them. Their website is wonderful. They just redesigned it. It's taking a lot of work on our part, because they're very demanding with pictures and they want everything perfect, which I understand, but it's a lot of work. So we are continuously updating that Illinois Office of Tourism website. Up there is a picture of a couple of what a landing page would look like for any businesses that we've submitted. And again, we've got a list of about 450 businesses, so we submit probably about 3 or 4 pictures each, descriptions, locations, websites, Facebook posts, any of that. So if anybody ever sees an email, say we need a little information, we're always more than willing to take it. Also the Illinois Travel Guide came out. Very happy about that. That would be in your stack as well. Page 60, actually, the Illinois Office of Tourism gave us a pretty nice spread, and this goes everywhere. This really promotes us. We didn't get to write it, of course, but we submitted a ton of items, and so they pick and choose what they want to write about, what they want to promote. But I really think they graciously gave our area a nice plug. The ad, I mean, just in case they didn't, of course, we purchased an ad in there. So that's where you see the antique and the play in Peoria area. That's the ad that we purchased in that guide as well. Again, that comes out twice a year. So another part of what we do is emails. We have a leisure list of about 6,000 people, so we will send out emails. We send out 2 Peoria promoters a month, which goes to that leisure list and tells about everything that's going on. So if there's something coming up, something specific we want to get to people, we send it out in the email blast. We also do a partner news. So if there's new partners, grand openings, things that our partners want to brag about, they just let us know and we put it in there, and that goes out once a month. We also do live TV appearances for our partners, for our cities. Pekin and Morton with the Tazewell County Art Loop. I said that right? Yeah. They were on not too long ago. There is a picture of that for Fourth Fridays. We have a great partnership with WMBD-YZZ, so usually if asked, we can make that happen, with at least 2 weeks' notice. Disclaimer. No? Oh, uh-oh. Okay, so this is, and some of you might have seen it, but I know that some of you haven't. This is something that we do. We do Tourin the Town episodes, and this is the last one we did on Morton. We just completed a great one for Washington, just on their festival. And so it turned out great and got so many hits, and we want to make sure to show the love to you guys too. So I know Casey and Andrew have their itinerary down. They're ready, they're excited. So hopefully at the end of the Pumpkin Festival, you will have like quotes and interviews. I know we did mayor interviews and tourism interviews over there, and so watch out. We'll be scoping you out for plugs for Morton, and it's going to be a great one. But this is an example, and I'll wrap it up with this, but here's the last one that we did.
Welcome to Morton, Illinois, the pumpkin capital of the world. Did you know that 80% of the canned pumpkin consumed worldwide comes from right here in Morton? It's no wonder they have a 3-day celebration based around their favorite gourd. The festival is a full weekend of everything pumpkin. But that's not all that Morton has to offer. So let's go and tour the town and see what else we can find. A cup of joe from Eli's Coffee will put a pep in your step before your day in town. Eli's prides itself on being a place where you can sit down, enjoy some coffee, and connect with friends. The shop also has great menu items, including sandwiches, salads, and pastries. Now that I've got my coffee, let's go shopping. Right across the street from Eli's is Jefferson Street Studio and Gallery. Check out work by local artists, from paintings to sculptures. Everything inside the gallery is available for purchase. Threads is the newest shop in Morton. This trendy clothing store has all the latest fashions. Head down Main Street and visit Lulu's on Main, with unique and specialty gifts in every corner. You may not go to Lulu's looking for something, but you will definitely find something you want. Planning a party? Need the perfect gift? Or looking for some home decor? So Chic Boutique is your one-stop shop for everything pretty. I love to cook, and I'm pretty good at it, but I'm always up for learning new recipes and techniques. So let's head into the cookery and whip up something delicious. At the cookery, everyone is a gourmet chef. They specialize in unique cooking classes where you can learn some traditional favorites or master a cuisine from a different region. The cookery also provides catering and, coming soon, meals to go. If you feel like letting someone else do the work, we've got you covered. Check out Seasons Gastropub. Seasons has an amazing menu that changes, you guessed it, with each season. They also have a wide selection of craft beer and great wine. Or head to Kemp 208 in downtown Morton for a casual fine dining experience. The atmosphere is warm and exciting with a rustic American menu. All menu items are created with the freshest ingredients and locally sourced when available. Have a sweet tooth? Just down the street is Great American Popcorn Company. They have over 100 different flavors of popcorn available, from sweet to incredibly spicy. You can also pick out craft soda, fudge, and ice cream. We've had a blast uncovering some of Morton's hidden treasures. For a full list of attractions, dining options, hotels, and more, visit enjoypeoria.com. Thanks for joining us as we toured the town. I thought maybe you'd forget about it. This is ghost pepper chilies. That was very hot. It's very hot. And it just keeps getting hotter. Can I get another chaser? And you're fast asleep. Gosh, let's just stay here and play Cinderella all day. I'm a pretty, pretty princess.
Sorry. And that's our Casey. So again, we'll be doing another one of those. Once those are created, we push them out, social media, everywhere like that. So does anybody have any questions? Because he will answer them.
Thank you all.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Very
Appreciate your
informative.
support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gotcha.
We'd ask if there's any public comment from any public. If not, the consent agenda tonight is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting July 17, 2017, and the approval of the bills.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? If not, call roll.
Belsley.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The only item I have tonight is the number of liquor license, the number of Class A 2 liquor licenses increased from 3 to 4, and that would be for the Platinum Nails Salon, wants to offer some wine while the ladies are getting their nails done. So
moved.
you can have a motion.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? If not, call the roll.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Village Clerk.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Thank you. Village Administrator.
I have one item tonight, Your Honor. The Pumpkin Festival through the Chamber of Commerce has submitted a grant for the tourism grants, and we have reviewed it. When we did originally review it, it was looked at as a new event, and there were a couple of scoring factors that were looked at that really don't pertain to this high-quality, long-lasting event that we have in our town. So I would like to recommend that we award a $10,000 grant to the tourism, through the tourism for the Chamber of Commerce.
And that's a similar amount we've been doing in the past,
Right.
isn't it?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Motion passed.
That was the only item you had?
That's it tonight,
Okay,
Your Honor.
thank you. Chief of Police.
I have one item tonight, Your Honor, on the same theme as our village administrators. Just 5 short weeks until our Pumpkin Festival comes into town. And Craig Laudermilk and I have received a request for the street closure on that from the Chamber of Commerce. It'll be beginning the week of Sunday, September 10th, when we'll start closing streets down. We've approved that, and this is just notification to the board of that approval. You'll see a list that I've placed on each of your spaces there, noting the street closure and the times. There's a little bit earlier on Sunday, the 10th this year, with the AC Church moving its location, we usually didn't close down Jefferson Street and some of the other streets until after the parishioners had left the area, but we'll be closing down at approximately noon on Sunday, September the 10th, closing those streets down. And also, with the moving of the craft fair to where the church had previously been, there's going to be some additional closure on some of the closing of the parking spaces there to allow for the crafters to drop off for their setup and then also their departure.
And we've notified the businesses that are affected.
There are really no businesses affected by the street closure, but prior to the event, we will be sending notification to all the resident owners on that.
No
Okay.
new business.
No new business.
That's
Okay.
typical over the years.
I will thank you, Chief,
You're
for
welcome.
that info. Corporation Counsel,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
thank you. And Director of Fire and Emergency Services,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
and Director of Public Works.
One item tonight, Your Honor. In front of you is ordinance 17-15. This is an ordinance amending section 8.110 of the Morton Municipal Code regarding trimming of trees and bushes which obstruct public ways.
Why don't you explain a little bit to us?
Okay, so explain it first? Or you want a motion first?
Moved, okay?
I'll second.
All right.
All right, had a discussion with Mr. McGrath. Actually, I think we discussed it a while back. But basically what this ordinance does, if you're familiar with 8.110, which is trees and shrubbery is the title, specifically section B, which details, the Village of Morton's responsibilities to make sure that obstructions are cleared. In particular, this would be sidewalks 7 feet above, streets 16 foot above, and then obviously obstructions of traffic signs and signals. Notice over the last few years, people do rely on us to do that. So what this would take care of is allow us to recover any costs associated with trimming trees and bushes that obstruct those areas. A letter would be sent out, but what happens now is a letter sent out, and then in 14 days, then we just go do it anyway. So a lot of people do rely on us to do that work. This kind of flips it back. We've obviously have other things to do that are probably more pertinent: crack sealing, or crack filling, concrete work, a lot of things that this would recoup some of those or recover some of those costs.
Any other discussion? Call the roll.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Okay. Planning and zoning,
Two items tonight, Your Honor. The first being a special use request for a mixed use that would be located at 138 and 140 South Main. Fits in pretty nicely with what Leanne brought to you tonight on the downtown development plan, where they plan to have retail area on the lower level with 2 floors of rental property to be located above that. We haven't gotten all the plans yet, but it's been through the Plan Commission public hearing, and that comes to you with a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission to approve this.
okay, so we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I would just ask, is the parking requirements been met for that?
Yeah, the parking, there's going to be in a garage with 2 enclosed spaces, and then there's additional room behind those buildings for the 3 spaces they need to have for their retail, or the rental area above the apartments.
Okay. Call the roll.
Parrot.
Yes.
Belsley.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The second item that I have tonight is ordinance number 1717, amending our building inspection fee schedule. And the retail, or the residential portion of this ordinance that we adopted in January works and is good. And we hadn't used this part of the ordinance much until a project that's going to start with a local church. And when I did the calculations on what this fee was going to be for them, it came out to be, I don't know, it was around $16,000 or $18,000, which is not reasonable. They didn't raise that question. I did. I got to thinking about that, and then I took it and I looked at, we just built a new church a couple of years ago, and I thought we'd have spent about $40,000. Figured it at a rate that it currently is at right now, which is not reasonable at all. Although this is a rate that's used by, I'm not going to say who, but it's a local community. So after giving that some consideration and talking to my building inspector to see exactly, to make sure we aren't shortchanging him on, the hours that he's going to have to put into inspecting these. And Joe he spends time on them, going through the plans. We've come up with a fee schedule that I think is more in tune and will fit what we do better, I believe. So the way it's calculated here would be $2 for the first $1 million. That's $2 per thousand on the first $1 million of the project. And after that, it's based $1 per thousand on anything above that first million. So to give you an idea, that project that I told you, the local church, instead of being $16,000 to $18,000, it's $6,000. So, and we're still covering everything that we need to cover. We're not shortchanging ourselves any. It just actually, it fits better. Trustee Blunier is not here tonight, obviously, but I had previously spoken to him about that and went through the whole process similar to what I did with you, and he was fine with that, and I think I'd even mentioned it previously to Trustee Belsley. So if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them with you.
Could we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Out of curiosity, Roger, that there's one community that was the 16,000, and we compare us to other communities that may not have those fee schedules or whatever they're there. Just
When you look at some of the fees that other communities charge, they're not very across the board, I guess you could say, because if you look at some of them, their plumbing permits may be $35 or $40. Well, that doesn't, when you have to have a licensed plumber do the inspection, I don't know how, they have to pay that money, they have to subsidize that from some other fund. And we can't do that. Ours is supposed to be self-supporting. That was, back when Norm was mayor, that was his marching orders to me, so that's how I went about setting it up. But, and I don't know why that other community is at that rate, but I don't know that we're looking at that to make money.
Yeah, I just, for me, I just want to be, if it becomes a profit center for us, I want to whack it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. It won't be now.
I don't want that to be, to inhibit, commercial projects. I mean, essentially is where I'm coming at, so.
I know I shouldn't, when it came to me with this church project, I looked at that, and I'm not supposed to, I know, because I've had this discussion with Pat's predecessor. I'm thinking, that's some, if like our church would have been $40,000, that's $40,000 that me, some other family member, some other members are gonna have to donate to pay that.
I guess I always worry about in other projects that the worst part is not that it gets done or that somebody has to do it, is that the project doesn't get done at all.
Yeah,
the fees
right.
become prohibitive.
You don't want that to be a stumbling block.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we've taken care of that here.
Cool.
So do we have a motion on that? Yes. Okay. Any other questions? If not, let's call the roll.
Belsley.
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Lehman.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrot.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay. Kangaroo Court, $10 now, to $5 fees.
Trustee Belsley
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
and Trustee Lehman,
Not this evening, Your Honor.
Trustee Hare,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
and Trustee Newman,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Barrett.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
And there is no need for a closed session tonight, so we'll entertain a motion or close.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Let's go home.